Mrs. Morgan, I was monitoring the live stream from the nanny cam as you requested when I noticed something unusual. Would you like me to send you the footage?
I don't have the time to go over the footage right now. Just tell me what you found and I'll check it later. Did Allison take the money I left out as bait? I knew I should have hired an older nanny. These 20-somethings can be so unreliable.
No, it's not that she took the money. It's actually about Mr. Morgan. He went back to the house a few hours after you left.
He did? Why? Did he forget something?
I don't think so. I think it's better if I just send you the video.
George, stop dancing around the topic. I am not some fragile, over-emotional teen. Whatever it is, I assure you I can handle it.
I saw Mr. Morgan kissing the nanny. He's having an affair.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm certain.
I see. Send the video through the app we use to exchange confidential information.
Sure. Is there anything else I can do?
No, that's all. You can return to work. I'll deal with Ben myself. Of course, it goes without saying that you are not to say a word about this to anyone. Are you awake, dear? I know you get lethargic after strenuous physical activity, but I really would appreciate it if you fetched my sunglasses on your way back to the office.
What are you talking about, Lydia? I am not home. I told you I am at an important meeting with one of our suppliers. And what do you need sunglasses for at 7 p.m.?
I need them to hide my puffy, bloodshot eyes, of course. Who wouldn't be devastated to find out that their husband of 10 years has been cheating on them? I've been crying my heart out for what feels like minutes.
Hilarious. Do you have proof to back that up?
You know I am not the type to accuse someone without evidence. Why don't you have a look at it yourself? I'll send you the video. Give me a second.
For the love of God, couldn't you have started with this? Do you know how stressful it is to think of excuses off the top of my head? My blood pressure could have spiked.
Oh, yes. Woe is you. I promise I'll try to be more considerate the next time I catch you cheating.
Fine, it's true. I've been having an affair with Allison. What about it? For the past few months, it feels like we've been married on paper only anyway. Is it that surprising that I'd seek comfort elsewhere?
You're right. It's not surprising. I get that we agreed to be business partners first and foremost, but it's time we set clear boundaries when it comes to extramarital relationships.
What exactly do you want?
No affairs until after the company's successfully gone public. If you get caught, you'll take full responsibility for it. You won't meddle in my love life. And Ava will never hear a word about this agreement. To our daughter, we remain a loving couple. We can go over the terms later today, and I'll have Mr. Jones draft a contract.
Wouldn't it be easier to file for divorce at this point? What's the point of keeping up this facade?
The timing's just not right. We have to prioritize our public image. Maybe we can discuss it a few years later, but we have more important things to take care of right now.
Are you really refusing to divorce me right after finding out about my affair?
Is that what this is? You are asking me for a divorce?
Well, yes. I've been on the fence about this for some time, but after today, I am sure I can't go on like this.
You do realize that with me gone, you'd lose not only half of your assets, but also my father's funding? Aren't you worried about the custody battle and the impact it's going to have on Ava? Adultery might not be illegal, but getting intimate with the nanny while your daughter's sleeping in the next room won't exactly paint you in a favorable light.
Tell me, Lydia, is it a crime to want to feel loved and appreciated? What if I want my wife to scream and cry when she sees me with another woman instead of threatening me like an emotionless sociopath? Why are you trying so hard to prevent me from leaving?
Are you implying that I don't care about you? I went against my whole family to marry you because I saw potential in you. I saw that you had what it took to be successful, and look at you now. With my help, you've become the co-owner and CEO of one of the largest privately held skincare companies in the world. What we have is far greater than your run-of-the-mill cheesy romance. So stop talking about divorce for now and agree to the terms I proposed.
Do you think I am going to buy this nonsense? You can't reprimand me for trying to deceive you while doing the exact same thing. If you want honesty, let's do this properly.
Fine, if you insist. The truth is, I really did go against my family to marry you all those years ago. My father was categorically against it since you had no money or status. But I fought hard for our union. Eventually, he let me get married on 2 conditions. 1, I have at least 1 child during the first 2 years of our marriage, and 2, we stay married for at least 15 years. If I failed to fulfill any of the 2, I'd be cut out of his will. It seemed more difficult at the start, but now at least I no longer have to worry about the first condition being broken.
Are you serious? You didn't think to mention this to me at any point during these 10 years? And are you saying you only got pregnant in order to not lose your inheritance? Was it a lie when you told me you felt excited to expand our family?
Don't Don't be ridiculous. We were planning on having a child eventually anyway. Who cares when it happened? The reason I didn't say this to you before was that I thought it'd ruin our relationship for good. I suppose none of that matters anymore. Just wait 5 more years and we can separate.
I need time to think about all this. I'll be staying at our vacation home for a few days.
Fine. I am going to fire Allison and remind her of the NDA she signed when she started working for us.
Is that really necessary? Who even cares about cheating scandals in the 21st century?
Just because you don't care about your reputation doesn't mean everyone feels the same way. I told you we can't get divorced. Do you want me to appear spineless in front of my friends and family? I don't want them to look at me like some pitiful woman who is fooled by her treacherous husband.
Fine, whatever. Do whatever you please.
You've got to be kidding me. Allison, this was not part of our arrangement.
I did everything the way you told me to.
We had agreed to catch Ben cheating on camera. We didn't agree on you disclosing it to a news website. Benjamin Morgan's affair? A shocking confession of a nanny who seduced her boss? Really? Was $50,000 not enough for you? I thought you were desperate for money to pay off your gambling debt. Or did you think that I wouldn't take legal action if you violated the NDA? Actually, forget about the NDA. I could sue you for slander. Your little stunt might end up costing us millions.
But I had no choice. I had to defend myself.
You can just move on and pretend nothing happened, but a scandal like this could ruin my life forever. Nobody would have found out if you just kept your mouth shut.
That's not true. This morning I got a threatening email. It contained the footage of me kissing Mr. Morgan. They said if I didn't agree to the interview, they'd leak the footage with my name attached to it. What if people at my college see it? What if my family sees it? You promised me no one would find out. I trusted you.
Why didn't you contact me as soon as you got that email? And how did they manage to get the video? Only 3 people had access to that footage.
Well, obviously, one of those people is blackmailing me.
I see. I'll figure out what's going on. In the meantime, don't agree to any more interviews. I also need you to send me the email address that sent you the video. You know what? Just bring your laptop to my office. I'll send you the address.
Okay, just resolve it quickly.
I will. I promise. George, go to my office and wait for me there. We're going to have a serious talk.
Is this about the interview? I swear I have no idea how they got it out so quickly. I've been trying to reach Mr. Morgan all day, but he's nowhere to be found. The whole office is in turmoil.
I can't believe I am saying this, but are you sure you're not exaggerating? It's just one interview by an anonymous woman. How bad could it be?
Miss Morgan, haven't you checked your phone in the last 30 minutes?
No, I was on the phone with the new nanny. Apparently she's stuck in a really bad traffic jam, so I've been taking care of Ava. Plus, I couldn't be bothered to respond to all my concerned well-wishers. Why? Did something happen?
Mr. Morgan issued an official statement about the website's claims. He admitted to everything.
He did? Without consulting me? What did he say?
He apologized to you and Ava for his mistake and stepped down as the CEO. Soon after, the website that broke the news identified the anonymous nanny as Allison Carter. Have a look at these articles.
He's not answering my calls.
That's not even the worst of it.
What? Why? I bet the board is furious.
Allison Carter is dead. She was hit by a car as she was crossing the street to enter the office. She was declared dead on impact.
That can't be right. I was just texting her.
We've confirmed her identity. It was definitely her. I would stay home for a few days if I were you, or at least until the initial storm blows over.
Right. God, this is giving me a headache. If you see Ben, tell him to contact me immediately.
Sure, but what did you want to talk to me about?
It's not important right now. We can circle back to that later.
As you wish.
In the meantime, make sure the situation doesn't spiral out of control. I don't want to see any speculative articles about this story.
Of course, we'll try to keep as much of it under wraps as we can. Are you completely out of your mind? This is too much, even for you.
Where have you been? Why are you ignoring my calls? And what on earth are you talking about?
Stop acting like you don't know what's going on. I've just been informed Allison Carter died on her way to our office.
Yes, and? Don't you think you owe me an explanation? How could you issue an official statement without talking it through with me first?
I feel like murder is a more serious crime than disobeying one's wife. Wouldn't you agree?
Murder? Are you insinuating that I had something to do with her accident?
Of course, it makes perfect sense. A crazed wife goes after the mistress after the husband comes clean about the affair.
I can assure you, if I wanted to punish someone for the affair, I wouldn't be going after the mistress.
Is that a threat?
I learned about your statement after she was hit by a car.
But you learned about our affair yesterday.
Oh, grow up, Ben. She was working for me. I hired her to catch you cheating on camera.
You hired her and you didn't tell me even after you'd gotten what you wanted?
You didn't need to know. Besides, I had to ensure her safety. What if you'd been enraged and decided to take revenge?
And how did that work out for you? I'm sure she'll be plenty safe when she's 6 feet under. I can't believe this. So she knew all along? If I'd known you were the one who hired her, I wouldn't have gone through this much trouble.
Gone through what trouble? Care to elaborate?
I sent her the video anonymously and asked her to confess to a website I had contacted earlier. Then I gave a heartfelt speech about family and loyalty and resigned. I even made sure to place full blame on myself, the cheating husband, and Allison, the young seductress, to avoid damaging your reputation.
You were the one who blackmailed her. I almost fired George.
Since when are we telling our assistants our deepest secrets? Is that who you wanted to cheat on me with?
First of all, that's utter nonsense. George is just a reliable employee. And secondly, why on earth did you do all that?
I did it for you, for us.
In what twisted world would ruining a college student's life be good for us?
It was so your father would let you get a divorce without taking away your inheritance. If your husband turned out to be a lying, cheating, good-for-nothing jerk, surely he'd consider changing the terms. And don't act like you're some kind of a saint. You paid a woman to seduce your husband. We're both at fault.
Don't act like what I've done is nearly as awful as your actions. Oh, and if you think this is going to make my father change his terms, you're gravely mistaken. The reason he came up with those conditions in the first place was that he always thought you had the makings of a lying, cheating, good-for-nothing jerk. He wasn't trying to protect our marriage, he was trying to punish me for choosing the wrong man.
And why did you choose this wrong man?
Haven't I told you already? I saw potential in you. I knew that with my fortune and business acumen and your chemical engineering expertise, we could bring my ideas to life.
You do realize you could have just hired me as an employee, right?
Okay, fine. Maybe there was more to it. I was infatuated with you. I found you handsome and charming and wanted to build my future with you by my side. Does that change anything now? I was young and reckless.
Couldn't you have said this to me earlier? Perhaps we could have worked on our differences. We could have gone to couples therapy.
My family doesn't believe in therapy.
I can tell. But we still have 5 years ahead of us, right? Can we at least try being amiable with one another?
Are you seriously asking me if we can stay friends after accusing me of orchestrating a hit and run?
Why don't we just give it a shot for Ava's sake and for the sake of your family's multi-billion-dollar fortune?
Ben, we can keep masquerading as a happy couple, but I can never trust you again. And I think you feel the same way about me. Let's live separately and act like we're earnestly trying to slowly mend our relationship. 5 years later, we can file for divorce.
Is that what you truly want?
It is. I'll go deal with the media and make sure Allison's death doesn't prompt too many questions. We'll cancel the IPO for now and start looking for your replacement. Don't you feel bad about giving up your title?
Well, I am still the co-owner. I can just return to a different, less public executive role sometime later. Speaking of replacements, we also have to get a new nanny for Ava, right?
I took care of that the day I hired Allison. The new nanny just got here a few minutes ago.
Right, because Allison was never supposed to stick around. So, you are sure you didn't do it? You didn't put a hit out on her to cover up what happened?
Ben, who do you think I am? Some unhinged mob boss? How could I ever do something so cruel?
I was just checking, so it really was an accident.
I assume if I didn't do it and you didn't do it, I don't think we have any reason to suspect foul play.
What about George?
What about him?
Maybe he's the one who planned it. I never liked that shifty guy who was ready to carry out your order without asking questions.
You've been watching too many detective movies, haven't you? He has no motive. Besides, everything happened so fast, I don't think anyone could have planned that.
But the investigators and the family members might still have suspicions.
We'll take care of that too. You'd be surprised how easily these matters can be dealt with when you have enough money and the right connections.
I should have just married my college sweetheart. If only I'd known back then what I was getting myself into. We could have enjoyed a drama-free upper-middle-class life.
Yes, well, hindsight is 20/20. We're waiting for you at the lawyer's office. Please don't tell me you're having second thoughts.
Don't worry, I'm on my way. I had to stop to fill up on gas. I just got on the highway. I'll be there in 10 minutes.
All right, there's no rush. Drive carefully. Ben, where are you? Why aren't you answering my calls? Ben? That fateful day, exactly 5 years after Allison's death, my husband died in a car crash as he was driving to the divorce attorney's office. Though we'd lived separately for years, it was still a devastating loss to my daughter and me. It was a small, quiet funeral. I was surprised when my father showed up to express his condolences. I've been having a hard time finding the strength to return to our company. Maybe I'm just seeing things, but I feel like there's an unspoken animosity in my employees' eyes. I'm sure the bizarre rumors that have been circulating in the office since that day haven't been helping the situation either. At least I still have George on my side. I can't really tell if he's loyal to a fault or just clueless. Or who knows? Maybe Ben was right and he really was the mastermind pulling the strings from behind the curtains all along. I don't really care anymore. I've decided to take a step back from work and spend a year or two traveling around the world with Ava. I may not be able to find the answers I am looking for there, but I hope I'll at least manage to find some inner peace.